You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk 1150 AM. Now, back to the show with local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell.
You are listening to The Money Hour at 1150 AM, KKNW, the Saturday, November 19th show. You can also listen to my show podcast, Facebook premiere, or you can catch my show on my show YouTube channel. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. I am here to help you build a strong financial blueprint, 1 week and one show at a time. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. I'm here to answer any questions, or I can connect you with the two guests that I have on the show. Please reach out by going to themoneyhour.com. And now in studio, Aaron Murphy of ADM, Alda Kutcher, and ForeverHome, housing for the new longevity, right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Aaron, again, thank you for coming into studio.
Oh gosh, so fun to be back. It's been a joy already.
Yeah, love it. And really excited to have a conversation with you. And I want to start out with, how did you start on your entrepreneurial journey? We talked a little bit in a panel conversation on what experience brought you in, but share a little bit more on your journey.
Sure. So, to anybody who's read the E-Myth, the myth of the entrepreneur, that's a good example of me. I worked for a probably 25-person architecture firm in Leschi in Seattle at the time, and really wanted to be the guy that owned the firm. And so you get your license and your stamp as a young architect and think that, you have new ideas, or you could do it better, or you want to be in control, or whatever drives you that way. Moved to Kitsap County. Our firm is in Paulsbo now, outside of Seattle, and we're a 6-person firm. So, but I was a solopreneur for a very long time, probably 9 of our 14 years, before I needed a personal assistant, and then I needed help drafting, and then I needed and so coming out of the recession, and that was definitely a part of the exercise. We talked about that in the previous segment, that I was flipping and lease optioning. I went and did real estate full time, but unfortunately I started in November of 2005. So I didn't make it out of the arms and get through the refis and get into the fixed rates. So, tons of lessons along that journey, but I've been unemployable since I was 32.
Yeah, that is the best or unemployable. And most want to own the firm, but very few take the steps and are able to do what's needed to move forward into being an entrepreneur and being the leader of business, for sure. So what are you seeing as an emerging trend in architecture?
Yeah, we barely touched on that a minute ago as far as the residential side. Obviously, there's plenty going on commercial as far as being green or being carbon neutral, or right at the commercial building level. But I'm seeing on the residential side that the voice is getting much louder than it has in the previous decade about the need for those of us 50 plus to do something for our house. Because and think about it, World War II, right? Coming out with a GI Bill, the first people that were kind of getting into home buyer and American Dream, and, houses are pretty much built the same as they were then.
Yeah.
But our longevity, you might not live past 47, in 1920. Well, now you might live to 147 if you're born today. So the need for housing to adjust to what we've already experienced in technology and medicine advance.
Yeah.
Now home needs to advance.
Absolutely. Everything needs to advance. Yes,
it does. And there's tons of R&D products out there. There's a spoon that will offset the shaking of your hand for Parkinson's, and you can eat cereal with milk. Wow. Okay. But who's disseminating all the silos of information and looking at the holistic answer to designing home to last as long as you do?
Yeah. Well said, and great need for sure. So why did you choose aging in place as your residential niche?
personal passion, to see grandma go through that. When she retired in Portland, she was 5'9", traveling the world, playing cards, playing bridge at a master's level. And
did she play
loving
canasta?
retirement. Huh?
Did she play canasta?
I don't recall any.
Yeah,
any longer.
I did. I say that because every time I think of cards and seniors, my grandma was a big canasta player. Lots of memories of hours of canasta. But anyways, go ahead, Aaron.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And enjoying retirement. But she went from 5'9" to 5'2". And, by the time I graduated college, she was trapped in a hospital bed in the living room of a split level home and didn't know Carl, my grandfather's name, because of dementia. So, like I said earlier, the house, a split level home, is a disaster when it comes to aging. There's 7 or 8 stairs to the front door. There's 7 or 8 stairs to the laundry room. There's 7 or 8 stairs to every shower. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. And there's lots of things in every era of housing that did not quite consider all of the pieces of aging in place.
Yeah. So what are the most common requests are you seeing for safety modifications?
Yeah,
I would imagine a lot in the bathroom tub.
Yeah, it's kind of in the order of dampness, right?
Okay.
Bathroom, even to the point like a spec house has a 2'6" door, and the door swings into a 5x8 room and a bathroom. Well, if you fall in the bathroom, you just cost the EMT 30 seconds in an emergency getting the door off.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe you should have a pocket door. Okay. But yeah, you're right that, moisture creates accidents. And so bathrooms first, trying to look at a 0 threshold, a roll-in type shower scenario, bars around the places that you're trying to maneuver while wet. And then laundry and kitchen are the two that kind of come in equally after the bathroom, as far as where we can keep you safe and keep you home longer, which, last time I saw an AARP poll, it was 89% of people want to stay where their pet, where their garden, where their memories are.
Yeah. Yeah. And then as we get into my next conversation and really having, when you've got the care that can come into the home, but you need to have the home adjusted to be able to accommodate. Right. Otherwise, even with the home care, you're not going to be able to stay where you're at.
Well, it's harder it's harder on the caregiver not to have a house that works for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So why did you rebrand to ForeverHome for your new business?
Yeah. So we're still kind of in the ramp up and startup phase for that launch. What I've learned over 13 years of speaking on stage once a month, I started doing that at Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions Club, Chamber. And then eventually I was speaking at, the home show in Seattle, and then American Society on Aging in Chicago. And then we were hired to go do a TV show in Tokyo.
I wonder if years ago I actually saw you.
I don't know if you waved or we shook hands after. It was like the 2013 Seattle Home Show, and they had.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious! I just literally put that connection together when you mentioned. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Hilarious.
That
was me with maybe a little lower hairline. I don't know. Yeah. So I've been doing it for quite a while. And so ForeverHome really is me looking at the B2B space. Okay. I've been speaking B2C for long enough that reticular activators at Christmas parties, and our phone rings at ADM architecture. What I'm realizing though, is my parents and every other boomer are, going from 65 to 70 plus. I have a father-in-law who was born the day after Pearl Harbor. So that'd be the high end at whatever that is, 81, 82. So I'm right in the middle of it. Tina, I am the epitome of the sandwich generation. I have 4 teenagers who think I'm an idiot, and I have 4 parents that won't listen to me. I'm approaching 50, and I've never felt dumber. Just ask the people around me.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and so it's just fascinating, right? I'm getting full circle of life information right now. And what I'm just seeing is that I actually need to go train a bunch of people how I did what I did, B2B.
Yes.
I need occupational therapists. I need remodelers who take our online course and get certified and can go do what I do and be the expert in their community so that we can help 200,000 people, not the 20 people I help per year at ADM.
Absolutely. Well, and I say too, for if you're listening to the show today and your product and or service that you offer is B2C, business to consumer, a lot of times, majority of people in those types of industry focus directly to the consumer, where how you really make a difference is what Aaron is saying here. And you can help millions versus thousands of clients is go B2B, finding those business professionals that are doing business today, can support you today. And they need you today to take care of their clients because they don't offer the product and or service that you have. And that's how we can really level up and help more people, by getting connected B2B. So that's great, Aaron, that you're doing all of that, building your B2B or business to business relationships. So what is your vision and mission for ForeverHome?
Yeah, so my vision is to train as many business owners how to help as many 50 plus consumers in the United States with staying at their home safer, independent, autonomous, and staying where they love as long as is safely possible. And like I said, we're going to start our two verticals as remodelers and OTs who do home assessments. And we know we need an occupational therapist. Okay. Universal design is design that just works for everybody. It worked for your granddaughter. It worked for my grandmother. Okay. And that's probably 70% of good design, and it just disappears. We're not making houses into hospitals, right?
Yeah.
And then the other 30% is specific to what you have or what you might get based on your medical history. We know we all need resources. I bring in the OT. I believe that more brains at the table make a better solution. I want the in-home caregiver who you're going to have on next, Dexter, to have a staff that can come talk about how this is all going to work together. But I have to go train the trainer right now. You know, it's kind of like my wife is a vice principal of a middle school. After 18 years of teaching AP high school Spanish, she wanted to help more. And so you move into administration so that you can teach the teachers what you've learned and they can teach the students. Same idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's brilliant. So why do businesses in the 50 plus consumer market need what you have to offer at the ForeverHome?
Because we're in unprecedented times, right? We have more people 65 plus, and we're going to live longer than we've ever lived by a long shot because of medical and technological advance.
Yeah.
But you can't know unless we're out there disseminating data and sharing with you the best information. Which 3 products should I recommend for home monitoring, right? Maybe dad doesn't like the big brother idea, and maybe we just have a key fob on his chain that we can see his keys are moving around the house. There's a dozen versions. When I went to Tokyo in 2014, Tina, there were 14 ways to get in and out of a shotgun seat in a car between Toyota and Honda at the International Home Health Expo. Wow. Why? Because Japan is 15 years older than we are per capita. They had to start guinea pigging all of this trial and error R&D. Okay, so are we looking to other countries for answers? So we would disseminate the data, you, the remodeler, the OT, the home designer, you come get certified with us, and then you go out there and you get to be the best person you can be as a business owner and help more people.
Yeah, absolutely. So what other B2B options will you offer businesses who want to learn and capture market share in the longevity economy housing sector next year in 2023 at ForeverHome?
That's a great question. So we're going to have an online coursework. And you'll be able to do it by module or groups of 3 or all 12, and it takes a year. You know, we'll work through that. You can also have one-on-one coaching from us, just depending on price point. The other thing that we're going to offer when we get into home designers is that we have stock plans for aging in place, and there's not a good website for that yet, and we're going to build it. So then if you are a home designer in Atlanta and you want to have ideas on how to design a house for somebody, we will have stock plans available if you're on subscription with us. And The idea is that I'll cut through the white noise for you. We'll give you the best info and you go out and do your job.
Oh, so
You become
exciting.
the local expert, which is what we need more of.
Absolutely. So I have to wrap up here in less than a minute, but I want you to answer one or two questions, one
Okay.
of these two, one or the other. What would you tell your 18-year-old self, or what would you tell your 70-year-old self?
Love it. I tell my 18-year-old self, plan to fail, enjoy it, but take notes.
Yep.
I tell my 70-year-old self, you sure as hell better have thought through what Aaron does for a living and planned to not be a burden on your children and be willing to have these discussions. Please don't be in denial. Aging's the best kept secret unless you like the alternative. We have to talk about it. So be willing, and then you can be proactive.
That is great. Great advice for the youngster and great advice for preparing for your golden years. Aaron, thank you so much again for joining me on my show. Great information. And I'm so happy that I could share it with my listeners.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And if you want to connect with Aaron, you can go to themoneyhour.com and I will get you connected with him and all the amazing stuff that he is doing.